Abusuafo for me mom good morning no. Anopa ide enye boni. Me sorry free kete so anam se ne ma me mu ndi san komo yi. Minim se mudu tutu nyina ate se cholera aba. Minim se Ghana Health Service any aban agencies ahodo tumufo how to prevent yourself from getting infected. Ebi ni se yesi en wash yensa me ndidi aduane a enunu enye careful with vegetables ni nyina ye. Baade ba ko a mahu se nkofo enhyedanti omo ho ase vaccine. Ma ni nkofo bebre edi nkomo ama o maka se omo nti ase se cholera ba na anu ya yeda sorry ya yes ye vaccine aba. Nti eyo mo say there is something fishy about the vaccine. Good. And they are justified because the whole history of vaccination in medicine, you see that black people have been used as experiments, And saying for resist our concern understandable. Obi any or per se any experiment. Name a basa cholera vaccine ya. We won nyoma baako mienu bi ka fa ho. Nkoma minimu bedi enye se bia me be hyem nkran se by force. Monko na monko je vaccine. But I just want to dispel misconception what's a particular vaccine. Okay. Intino enye Ghana pe na cholera outbreak. I see. In fact, the discovery of cholera as a disease started in the 1600s. 500 years ago, London had a major outbreak. That time, no meaning say it's caused by feces, feces contaminating a water source. So they had a very bad a city that had contaminated feces everywhere, contaminating their water sources. And they had a major outbreak in London. And as a result of that, it led to the discovery of cholera. Into cholera, they were hot and over the decades, over the centuries, various countries have had their, outbreaks. Some countries are even endemic. Over Haiti, they say, as a cholera, so there are countries like that. And whenever there is a problem, science try to fix it. So they've been efforts to try to create vaccines. The first vaccine that was created was an injectable. That's the one pioneer. And it was used massively, like it used for containing this disease in the 1800s. Spain outbreak. So they tried to use it. And they were using it, but they realized that the injection was not working very well. Ebi side effects and anodding. Ebi nso nso within 3 to 6 months na effect no eco in the 1970s WHO enya who said it was a pet vaccine for a more effective. Any dinya oral vaccine for cholera. Nti by 1990s na WHO approved it, say good. Nti omo to kwan ko US ne other first world countries, Europe say one of the things that you are required to take is the oral vaccine, at least 10 days before you travel. So it's always been there. But it is now more common because we have an outbreak and the government has procured some. So it's not a new vaccine. Like it wasn't created for our outbreak. Because I brought no say Ghana anya cholera outbreak intino. Emphasis can call your vaccine. No, what that? We are just fortunate to have it already existing. And then we are now using it. So if you decide to go for the vaccine, have it in mind that it's not something new. It has already been there. It has been used or been in use since 1990s for the current oral one. But for the injectables, as far back as over 100 years ago, there was a cholera vaccine, which was an injectable. And so you can do your own simple Google search and then decide if you want to take the vaccine, because the vaccine is like an additional layer. It prevents you from getting the disease even if you take contaminated water or food unknowingly, and it also prevents you from getting the serious version of the disease in case you are able to be infected despite your vaccine. So it's an additional layer that you can use to prevent yourself, in addition to all the other things that we have spoken about, like hand washing, eating of hot food, prevention of eating of contaminated food and all that. All those basic things still holds, but just in case, because there are a lot of things that we don't have control over. Our source of water, for instance, if your source of water in your community is contaminated and is running through your pipe into your homes, you might have access to contaminated water even though you have not gone out, so it's quite difficult. If you have a community that is saturated with cholera cases, the risk of even your homemade food being contaminated is high. So we all have to consider the vaccine and then do a simple Google search. You can all get all this information online and reassure ourselves that this cholera vaccine is just like any other vaccine that science has produced for us, and that is not unique to Ghana. It's already been in existence for a very long time. All right, so please, thank you for your time. Share this video to everybody, because this cholera thing, you might think it's just in Western region. And so no, so they will take it across Ghana. And just one case can infect the whole country. So if we have several cases around and people will be traveling, it means that wherever you are in Ghana, you need to be prepared. You need to get ready to prevent yourself from cholera. Thank you. And cholera is not just like any IM2. It can kill within 4 to 6 hours. That's how serious it is. That's how I don't know how to talk. Tragic it can be. So please, let's protect ourselves. Thank you for your time.